Hello, it's me, Sugarberry, and I'm back with another vintage toy haul to show you today. Are you ready for some 80s and 90s girly nostalgia?
Oh, yes!
So Prime and I took a trip to the Pinery Market, which is in Grand Bend, which is kind of like a beach destination here in Ontario, Canada. This was already back last summer, and it is now spring of 2025. So this was back summer 2024 when I got these toys. And the Pinery Market generally doesn't have a ton of vintage toys, but there was one vendor there last year that sells only vintage toys. She's a wonderful lady, very knowledgeable, and we had a really good chat with her last year. And we spent so much time just looking at everything that she had. I really wish I had filmed it actually, but it was so busy, and it's not a very big space, and there was constantly people moving through, so I didn't want to get in the way. But if you're from Ontario, her business is called Back by Popular Demand. And I think she travels around to different markets and things like that. And I'm not even sure if she's even at the Pinery Market again this summer. And she had basically every kind of vintage toy that you could think of there. I ended up buying 4 things from her. The first thing I got was a Fairy Tales bird. This is my second one in my collection. I only have 2 so far. So I was super excited to find her. And Fairy Tales birds were released by Hasbro, so the same company that did My Little Pony. They were released between 1986 and 1987, which would have been about year 5 of the My Little Pony line. Very My Little Pony-ish with their rubbery, plasticky bodies and their long brushable hair. I love how long these fairy tale birds' tails are. And they all have a symbol on them somewhere. This one looks like a flower with some ribbons coming out of it. Really cute. Love the wings. They all come in different poses. There was different lines released as well. Like there was a tropical line. There was a line where they just had fuzzy bellies. There's a line where they have these big fancy fan tails. And the feature with them is they have these little feet here that you could clip onto things. So you could clip onto your finger. They all came with a little perch that they could sit on. Very cool. And these break really easily. This one looks like it's in really good shape still, but my other one is broken, unfortunately. And there were definitely play sets released as well. So I think there was like little bird cages, and then there was sort of a castle house looking thing. I haven't done a ton of research on that, so I'm not 100% sure what they looked like, but I'm sure they would have had all kinds of little places for the birds to perch on. And her hair was pretty rough when I got her, which is no surprise. I mean, this stuff tangles so easy. And all I did was wash it and curl it with some conditioner. I didn't do the whole boil wash thing with it. Maybe someday I will, because it looks like the curls are coming back out again. And then I found 3 ponies at the same place. First one, I got Peppermint Crunch. I absolutely love this pony, and this one was really high on my wish list. It has been for quite a while. She's one of the Sunday Best ponies, and the Sunday Best ponies had these raised kind of 3D cutie marks on them. When I say Sunday Best, I mean like ice cream sundaes. So they all had ice cream related cutie marks. But I just love the colors on this girl. The minty kind of green color mixed with the purple. I love that. Very pastel. So there was only 6 of these released, 6 of these Sunday Best ponies released in year 6, so 1987. And this is now my second one. So I got a ways to go to finish that collection. And overall, she's in pretty good condition, except she is missing some hair. You can see she's missing some plugs and a little bit of stains here and there, but not bad. She displays really nice. Definitely needs some work on her hair, but very pretty pony. And then I got Boysenberry Pie. She's one of the sweet berry ponies, and again, there was only 6 of these released. And again, they were released in year 6, so 1987, which is the same year as Peppermint Crunch was released. And again, she's only my second one of this line. I also have Strawberry Surprise. And this one was really high on my wish list too because she's purple. I really love purple. And I love the contrast of the purple and the yellow. And it looks like she's got a piece of pie as her cutie mark. And these sweet berry ponies all had like fruit related themes. So obviously this one is boysenberry. She's got boysenberry pie on her. You know, there was blueberry, there was cranberry, and overall she's in really good condition. It does look like her head may have been reattached at some point, but that's okay. She looks really great, really good. And then I got Tabby. Tabby was also released in the same year, year 6, 1987. And she is my very first Happy Tails pony. And the reason they're called Happy Tails ponies is because when you squeeze their hindquarters back here, oh, there we go. Their tails move. And her name's Tabby because she has these two little, apparently these are lion cubs as her cutie mark. I thought they were kittens, but no, little lion cubs. Love her pink body, love her bright red Ronald McDonald hair. And she came with some interesting accessories. She came with a bird hair pick kind of thing with a long hair extension coming out of it. And then she had a squirrel ring type thing that I think you were supposed to put around her tail. Very interesting. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you may notice that my background is looking a lot different today than it has in the past. And that's because I decided to organize everything by color. I had a spur of the moment. One day I was just like, you know what? I feel like rearranging my shelves. Let's rearrange them by color and see how I like that. Greens, yellows, oranges, and pinks. More pinks. Then we get into pinky blues. We've got our blues, our purples, and then we're moving into more reds and blacks and whites. And then I've got another cabinet down near the floor where I've got more of my, anything that's white, wedding themed, wintry kind of things. That's all down at the bottom. Yeah, I'm not gonna do a whole room tour for you right now, but I just wanted to let you know, to show you that. But you know what, I like that I can see toys from a variety of different toy lines on each shelf. I like the way they mix together and they complement each other in so many ways. I don't know, I'm kind of liking it right now. We'll see how long it stays this way. The rest of what I'm gonna show you today are all things that I thrifted from my favorite local thrift store over a couple of visits. So I found this plastic bag and it had one G1 My Little Pony in it and a few G3s, but it was in the glass case where they like to put things that they think are more valuable, and they raised the price on them. It was marked at $25, which I didn't want to spend because really I just wanted the one G1 My Little Pony that was in there. I like G3s, but they're not my, you know, my generation of pony. So yeah, $25, I left it. The next time I came back to that thrift store, it was still there, but they had marked the bag down to 10. So I thought, okay, that's not bad. So I went ahead and I got it. So the G1 pony that was in there was Sundance, and she is the So Soft version of Sundance. So if you don't know, there was 3 different releases of Sundance. The first time she was released in year 3, which was 1984. And she was just the regular Sundance. She looked very much like this, except she did not have any flocking. And then this one was released in the following year, year 4, with the flocking. And then a few years later in year 7, so 1988, the Twice as Fancy version was released. And she was the version that wasn't flocked. And she had, instead of one little symbol like this, she had symbols kind of covering her whole back end. That's what the Twice as Fancy ponies were. They all had the fancy symbols that covered their whole back end. And another special thing about Sundance was that she was released with Megan. Every time she was released, she got a Megan with her. So Sundance and Megan, they're buddies, they're best pals. Sundance lets Megan ride her. So this is actually the Megan that goes with this Sundance. This is the only Megan that I already have in my collection. And this is her original dress as well. But there were two others. So there was another one that went with the first one, the regular version. And then there was another Megan that had a very different face that went with the twice as fancy version. This Megan has very large eyes and a tiny little nose. I think the other version of her has a much rounder face. A little bit cuter face, I think. But she's cute too. I like this one too. And then there was 3 G3 ponies in this bag. There was, I'll start with Marshmallow here. Marshmallow. She's called that because she has hot chocolate as her cutie mark. Oh, I have her name as Marshmallow Coco. Sorry, I think her name is Marshmallow Coco, not just Marshmallow. And she was released in 2004 as part of the Winter Ponies line. And she originally came with a blue and white hat with like a pom-pom on it, and a white tail bow and a blue bow brush. Like I said, I don't really know a whole lot about G3 ponies. I'm learning as I go with them. But they're cute. I mean, look at her. I love that she's got 3 different colors of hair. A very interesting color scheme. She does look pretty cute with her little toque. Her little, well, sorry, I call it a toque because I'm here in Canada. That's what we call hats, beanies. And then I got Petal Blossom, also a G3 pony. She was released 3 times, and she's considered a super long hair pony. I don't know which version she is. She was released once in 2004 by herself, once in 2004 with another baby pony named Flower Flash, which was like a small green pony. And then she was released in 2005 as part of a picnic playset. Like I said, I don't know which release she was from, but all 3 releases she came with a pink crown and a little flower barrette that had ribbons coming off of it. And I love that she's got tinsel hair. Her cutie mark is little flowers. She's got the green heart. Classic color combination, the purple and the pink. And she's quite pearlized too. You can see she's very shiny. And then Silver Glow was in the bag. And I can tell, you can tell she's kind of a unique pony because she's a Pegasus. She's got the wings and she's got tinsel in her hair. And she was released in 2006 as part of the Faraway Friends set. And she came with a blue brush. But her cutie mark is, well, you can see it better on this side. It's very shiny and sparkly and it's little stars and snowflakes. Really cute. And then I got Bubbles here. She looks like a G1 My Little Pony, but she's not. She's one of the reproductions. Her hoof says 2018 Hasbro, and they were released by Basic Fun Inc. Yeah, when I saw her at the thrift store, I knew she was a reproduction. I could see that on her foot that it said that. And you can feel it too, like the plastic is different than what the originals were. The original Bubbles looked exactly like this, except she was released in 1983 by Hasbro. So year 2 of the My Little Pony line. And she's one of only 2 sitting ponies that I'm aware of in the G1 line. There was Bubbles and then there was Seashell. So like I said, I knew she was a reproduction when I bought her, but I don't have the original in my collection. So I decided to get her because she was a good price. And then at the same thrift store, I picked up this guy. I immediately thought, oh, he's one of the Glo Friends. He's from the Glo Friends toy line. But then when I was doing research for this video, I realized that he's actually not. He does have the feature where when you squeeze him or hug him, his face lights up. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know if it works. But he's not from the Glo Friends toy line, which was released, I think, by Playskool and Hasbro. He's actually part of the Glo Kids toy line, not the Glo Friends, the Glo Kids, which was released by a company called Soma International. Really cute though, look at those eyes. He's got his little green hat, and then he's very plush. He's got his green turtle-y shell, which you can see is not in the best shape. And then he's got the zipper on the front here where his battery pack is. Little tail. And I think he was released in 1985 because I found pictures of him in box online. And the box says 1985 Soma International on it. And I also think he may have been released a number of times. I've seen dates online ranging from 1985, 1991, 1994, and the year 2000. So I'm not sure if he was released more than once. So I thought I would just do a little comparison of the Glo Friends and the Glo Kids lines because there's a lot of similarities, but there's some differences. So Glo Friends, there was a cartoon, really cute little kids show that was released by Playskool in 1986. Glo Kids, there was no cartoon ever made that I'm aware of. Glo Friends made these little plastic figures in 1986 and 1987. Glo Kids also released small plastic figures, but they looked a lot different. They weren't little bugs. They were like a lion, a bee, a little merman, a horse, and I think there was an elephant too. They kind of look like the Wuzzles. If you've ever seen the Wuzzles, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's what these figures remind me of. And then, like I said, the Glo Friends were produced by Hasbro and Playskool, whereas Glo Kids were produced by Soma International. And then the Glo Friends toy line also released like these huggable plush toys, but they had more of like the glow worm shape, and they also had butterflies, whereas the Glo Kids had a turtle. They had a bee, and I think they had butterflies as well. So that's as far as I got with that research. There's probably more that I'm not aware of. And if you know anything about this toy line, please put it in the comments and share it with the rest of us, because I'm sure I have a lot to learn about that. And then at the same thrift store, I found a duplicate She-Ra. I already have her. So She-Ra is a spin-off toy line of the He-Man toy line that was released back in the 80s. There was 3 waves of toys, and each wave She-Ra was released. I think this is from the first wave. It could also potentially be from the 3rd wave. Definitely not the 2nd wave, because the 2nd wave, both arms would move up and down at the same time. She's not in great condition. You can see there's a lot of paint rub. She's got blue nail polish on her nails. Somebody decided to paint her, and her hair is a mess, but that's okay. And I've said this before in other videos, even if I have the toy, most of the time I'll pick it up anyways, just because I have a hard time leaving toys behind, especially G1 My Little Ponies. So I have a number of duplicate toys that I have to figure out what to do with, because I have an addiction, you guys. This is madness! And on that note, I found another duplicate toy. I found another Cherry Merry Muffin doll in her original dress. And Cherry Merry Muffin was released by Mattel between 1988 and 1990, something like that. Again, there were 3 waves. Yeah, there was 3 waves of dolls, or 3 releases. She is from the first release. And I know that because her mouth is closed. She's smiling like a little chipmunk. The 2nd wave, they had open smiles, open mouths, you could see their teeth. And the 3rd wave, she would have had pink hair with tinsel in it. And like I said, this is her original dress. She's got a little muffin button on the front of her. She's got this little gingham pattern on her sleeves. She's missing her apron, unfortunately, but still very cute, very adorable dress. Add her to my duplicate collection. And all of these dolls were scented as well. I don't smell anything, but they were scented like their names, like Cherry Merry Muffin, there was blueberry, there was banana, you know. And one of the reasons I really like collecting this toy line is because, number 1, their shoes are molded on, so you can't lose them. And number 2, they stand so well by themselves. A lot of other toys, you have to buy stands for them, especially Barbies. These girls, they stand all by themselves. Let's talk Barbie. I did pick up a few Barbies. I got Teacher Barbie. She was released in 1995. And again, she is a duplicate for me. This dress I already had in my collection, so I just put it on her for now. But the reason I picked her up is because she was wearing this dress. This is the dress from Wedding Fantasy Barbie from 1989. This isn't my Angel Princess Barbie, so ignore the Barbie. I just have the dress on her for now because I don't have her original dress. So this is how Teacher Barbie was dressed. She actually didn't have this on here. This is actually from a Little Miss doll. I had this in my collection, so I thought I would put it on her because it looks very similar to what her original dress looks like. But anyways, this dress is in really bad condition. You can see the sheer material all along her bodice is very torn. She would have originally had more lace and more of this shiny pearlized material detail up here along her collarbone. She also had more of that detail along her waistline here, but she's got these really beautiful poofy lacy sleeves, which I think is really 80s, early 90s kind of thing. And it's basically a skirt and a top, which I did not realize. So the skirt comes off and it's just a kind of a crop top at the top. But like I said, there would have been much more detail on the front and it would have covered her belly much better. And she had a veil and a bouquet, of course, like any bride would. But it's it's a really pretty dress. I love the lace. I love the ball gown style. Very princessy. I'm not sure how I would feel as a bride wearing this around my neck. I feel like that would be really uncomfortable. And I think I'll put this Little Miss belt back on her. That's better. She's a more modest bride now. Beautiful. Then I found this doll. This is actually Secret Hearts Barbie from 1992. And I recognized her right away, obviously because of her earrings and her necklace. It's pretty rare for me to find a doll with the original earrings and necklace at the thrift store. So as soon as I saw it, I grabbed her right away. And I also don't have her in my collection yet. I also don't have her dress. And she had this really beautiful poofy white dress with sort of a shiny material along some of the edges that if you applied ice to it, something really cold on it, it would make the hearts appear. She actually came with this little ice cube tray that you could make heart-shaped ice cubes, and then you would put them in this little pouch and then apply it to her dress so that, like I said, the little hearts pattern would appear on the dress. And like many Barbies of that time, her outfit was a little bit customizable where you could take off the big poofy part of the skirt and she would have a much shorter dress on once you take the poofy part off. And when I found her, she was actually wearing this dress, which I do not believe is a Barbie dress at all. Not a very nice dress in my opinion. Red and silver. Really cheap Velcro there. I'm probably gonna donate this dress. We'll see. And then I found this girl. I'm sure you can tell by her face immediately which Barbie she is. She's Sparkle Eyes Barbie from 1991. And she still got her original earrings, which is awesome. She would have originally had a matching pink necklace as well in the same shiny metallic pink material. And she had this really beautiful silver body hugging bodycon short mini dress. And then on top of that dress, she had this big poofy kind of shimmery, sparkly skirt. And then there was also a matching kind of shawl type thing. Again, a very mix and match outfit, a very customizable outfit where you could take off one skirt and put the other poofy part on to give it a different look. Make it a shorter skirt, make it a long poofy ball gown. You wear it as a shawl, really depended on how you wanted to style her. Sadly, this doll is in rough shape. You can see her bangs have been cut. She's very spiky right here. And somebody cut a lot of her hair off at the top. Really sad. And her hand has been chewed off. But that's okay. If you've been watching for a while, you know I'm not terribly picky about my toys. I like to give things a home even if they're in really rough shape. And like I said, I have an addiction. And you can see the sparkles in her eyes. She's got the little gems in her eyes still, which is really nice. And clearly I do not have her original outfit. I've just put this random skirt and top on her for now. Oh, and I almost forgot to show you. This is what Sparkle Eyes Barbie was wearing when I found her. A little knee-length floral dress. Reds, blues, and yellows. I mean, it's cute, but I don't believe it's an actual Barbie dress. It's hard to say sometimes, right? It's got little plastic snaps. It's very torn. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was this couch. I picked it up because it says Mattel 2002 on the bottom. I picked it up thinking it was a Barbie couch and that it would be really great for display purposes. But it turns out it's not actually Barbie. It's actually a Mary, Kate, and Ashley furniture piece. It's from their Let's Get Stylin' dressing room set, which included like a dressing table, a chair, a mirror, and a rolling cart with a TV on it, and a bunch of other small accessories. So I do plan to use this in my display somehow. I'm just not sure yet. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got your daily dose of nostalgia, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.